Indirect issue non-profit.
Yeah.
Welcome to your daily hour with me.
That's right. We're on TV here once again, once a day, every day. Turn on the machines and let's start talking.
Every day.
We're here for an hour.
4 years now?
Over 4 years.
Over 4 years. Holy shazma.
Over one. Wait, maybe four. No, maybe not 4 years. Maybe over 3 years.
Holy longevity,
it gets
Batman.
Confusing. We started in 2010.
I know it's over 3.
We started in September of 2010, so it's 3 and months. We started September 2010. That's 2011, 12, 13. So 3 years in a couple months. It gets confusing because of the months, or because of the things where you're like,
Yeah.
because we are in our 4th year, but we haven't completed our 4th year.
Ah, yeah.
You know, so it seems like it's like, oh, we've been doing it for 4 years, but no, we're 3.5, but we're
Into the 4th year. It's
working
not
on
the
our
4th
fourth.
year until the 4th year is completed.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a little confusing that way.
3 point... September, October, November, December, January, February. Oh,
That's
yeah,
almost
yeah.
5, 3.5 almost.
3.5. Year 3.5.
Yeah. How you doing? You here on? Oh, you were here on Friday a little bit maybe.
Yeah. I ran in to offer one of my posters.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So before I started painting, before I started adding glow-in-the-dark paint to my regular paintings that are on canvases, I was working out things, figuring things out with glow-in-the-dark on black posters. And what I would do is I would go to, before, in Lacey, before it became Kohl's and Target and Sears, that little mall center, it's now a Target and
Southside
stuff.
Mall, yeah.
Yeah, Southside Mall. It used to be Sears on one side, Woolworths in the middle, and I think it was J.C. Penney, I think, on the far end, and it was a mall in between. It was really short. It was about half the length of the Capitalist Mall.
I like that mall, the Southside Mall. I missed it.
Yeah. Well, I think it was once or twice a month on the weekends, they would invite vendors to set up a table with their wares and sell them, and all kinds of people would walk through, and you would get a table for $40 for the weekend. You'd get a table and an electrical outlet that you could plug into, and you could sell your stuff, whatever.
Like a flea market.
Yeah. And so I would set up a table, and I would take these black poster boards, and I would run over to Michael's, which was just down the street a little bit, and they sold the black poster boards. And I would take my glow-in-the-dark paint, and I would paint everything from space and planets, and people would come up and they would ask for a commission. One of my favorite ones was a rose. They just wanted a big rose. So I did a rose in glow-in-the-dark on these poster boards. And after doing this like 3 or 4 times, a friend of mine got some black fabric and some PVC pipe, and we set up this little enclosure. And I set up black lights in that, and then I hung the poster boards inside this, and so their glow would come out, and I sold even more. And so I sold the posters for $25, and I sold a bunch of them, and I made my money back a lot. And so
some, huh?
Yeah. So I had 3 left over from this period of time that I was doing this. And I continued making them for a while until the glow-in-the-dark only comes in 4 different colors. 5. The natural glow, blue, pink, orange, and green, and yellow. Is that 5? Natural, yellow, orange, pink, green, and blue. 6. So I had these colors to work with. And
you could mix stuff with the natural though, right?
Yeah.
Other colors if you want to.
Any pigment you want. So what I started doing is I only had these colors to work with, and I could do quite a bit because that's 6 colors. Because the natural glow is kind of white. It's mostly clear.
Yeah.
But it's got a whitish to it, and it glows the strongest. So I could get different effects with that under the black light, and it would look one way in regular light and totally different under black light or glowing. So I got some canvases and I started experimenting with regular paint and adding glow to it. Taking like a yellow and adding yellow glow to it, or pinks or reds and adding pinks or orange glows to it. And I just started figuring out what pigments work with what kind of glow in the dark, and what the ratios I need to do, because a lot of times you just do one drop of the pigment. Say it's white, and the white absorbs the glow really bad. So you have to do one drop of white to half a teaspoon of the glow, that kind of ratio. It's like 1 part for 50, 1 to 50 ratio, something like that. It's a fairly big mix. Whereas other colors like reds and orange, you can add a lot more of the pigment and it will still glow. And the other problem is that the glow in the dark is partly transparent. So it doesn't, when you use a paintbrush to paint over a surface, it's partly see-through. And so you have to do layers. And then you have to let it dry and cure so it's not tacky anymore. And then you have to add another layer. And then you add another layer. And then you add another layer. And so it's been a process. And I stopped doing the poster boards 15 years ago.
Okay.
And started doing regular canvases and have been learning ever since. And so I've got these 3 posters left over that I figured, they're vintage. I will not do these ever again. Well, I shouldn't say that. I may. But the poster board is paper, and it bleaches under black light or regular light. It turns gray over time. And so using the black poster board is it's temporary art. It's not going to last very long. It's not going to last 50 years. It may if someone takes extreme care of it.
Puts in a frame.
Yeah, frame behind glass. Yeah, if they take care of it, it'll last a long time. But otherwise, it was just a quick and easy. Oh, pull this off.
Yeah.
This came out of there.
That's no problem.
Okay. So I got these last ones, and the idea is that I thought, well, I would like to give these, and I've offered them. Here, do you want to take this home? And people are like, right? One's a dragon around a castle. Another is this orb with smoke and crystals and kind of lightning-y kind of stuff, and the other is a I don't know, protoplanetary ring around a star.
Okay.
Something like that, kind of a Saturn star with rings kind of thing. And so I thought, I could give them away on the program.
Yeah.
And a person that meets a challenge gets it. Some sort of a contest kind of a thing, kind of a fun thing. Hey, if you can do this thing, to my satisfaction, you get the poster. And if you don't live in town, I can just roll it up, stick it in a tube, and mail it to you. There you go.
Well, what's the challenge? You said that before. I forgot what it was.
Well, the challenge was, can you get me some sand from South America somewhere?
Oh, yeah. Sand gathering.
River sand, lake sand, sea sand, desert sand. Doesn't matter.
Have you tried emailing somebody down there? I bet you can just email somebody.
Well, I would have to know somebody that lives there. I mean...
Just look them up on the internet. I bet you can...
Well, my friend Martino is from Brazil originally. And he probably knows people back there.
Yeah, and it doesn't cost very much to ship stuff. Probably only like $1, really.
For a tube, probably more like $5.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You can still just wire $5 to Brazil. They'll send you it.
Well, I would have to find a person that was willing to do that.
I don't think it should be too hard.
No, it shouldn't be hard, but it's a matter of making the connection. So, and that'd be cool. That'd be cool to send a thing. So... So that would be the challenge. If someone can get me sand from South America, another cool place would be like northern Canada, somewhere around the Arctic Circle. Like Baffin Island or Greenland.
Yeah.
I think Greenland is a continent. I think.
No, I think it's an island.
Yeah. I'm not sure what the definition of continent
Well,
is.
it doesn't
because
count as a
Australia,
continent though, because I mean, there's only the continents. There's only Australia and North America and South America and Europe and Asia. And
Antarctica. Yeah.
Those are the only continents. So
Yeah.
even though Greenland's big, it doesn't count as a continent for some reason.
Yeah, I wonder why. You think so many million square kilometers makes it a continent?
Doesn't make it a continent. It's just like Pluto's not a planet. Greenland's not a continent. Who knows?
Pluto is a planet, though.
Is it though, or
It
is it
is.
a dwarf planet?
It's a dwarf planet.
Dwarf continent.
As I've said before, I got my number. As I've said before, you have terrestrial planets, gas giant planets, and dwarf.
But islands are kind of maybe dwarf continents, if you want to say it like that. Here we go.
Yes, we'll say that. We'll say that. And astronomers would disagree with me probably. It's blah, blah, blah. 3!
Hey, it's
Yay!
you. You won. You got 500 points.
Yeah, it's upside down, but...
3. You can see it.
There we go. Yeah, there we go.
500 points out of a possible 3,000 points.
Yeah, 500 points. So that would be the challenge. Anyone watching this show, if you think you can find some sand, and I'm just talking about a couple tablespoons.
Yeah.
You know, a baby food jar maybe even.
Not a flour-sized bag. Not like
Oh
gallon.
God, no.
Not sand. Not gallons. Not 10 gallons of sand.
No, just a little bit. And the idea is you take a little bit of the sand, and you take one of those sewing pins with the round pinhead on it, and you dip the pinhead in glue, and then you dip that into the sand.
Yeah.
And then you stick the pin in the map with a tiny little label on it that says
yeah.
where it's from. And then you just got a map filled with these little pins of sand from that location. And the sand is actually on the pin itself.
Are you doing that?
A little. Not much. I haven't...
How much sand do you have? You probably have sand from all around Washington, right?
Yeah. Mostly like Ocean Shores area.
Yeah.
Long Beach.
Did you get Olympia sand?
Holy shit. No, I didn't.
You can just
I
go.
need to do that. Oh, but the sand around here is stinky.
Yeah, it is.
Stinky, nasty. Olympia is the southernmost portion
It's the
of
armpit
Bud Inlet.
or the
No, it's the ass.
ass, yeah.
It's the ass
That's what they
of the sound.
Yeah.
The sound ass.
Yeah, it's
Ass
at the
sound.
bottom of the because it is like it's even like large intestine, small intestine, and us, huh? It's like
The anus
Yeah.
begins at Capitol Lake.
yeah. All of Tacoma and all of Seattle.
Oh yeah.
They're the mouth, and we're the ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everett's the mouth, I would say, up there, right around there. Vancouver Island.
Yeah.
That whole inlet area. Yeah, because it would get the least amount of mixing.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got all these rivers draining into the area, and so it's not as salty. And God, 1 million people taking a dump every day, and it being treated and then going into the ocean.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of So when you say ass end, really seriously.
For real.
Yeah, for real. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why you don't go swimming in that lake.
Yeah. So the painting behind me right here, and it's amazing how the painting is right in the center of the circle.
Yeah.
And that painting glows in the dark. It's called Galactic Gum because I was kind of drunk when I painted it, and I was just playing around and mixing colors, and I did the background. I wasn't sure what to do with the middle, and so I just started. I like pink at the moment, and just started experimenting. And yeah. Yeah,
Right in the middle.
so it's my more evolved in a way glow in the dark paintings because it's relatively recent. I painted it I think 2 years ago, I think 2012.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I'd go over to a friend's place, take a couple bottles of wine, and we would sit down in the room, turn on 80s music, and laugh and talk and get drunk and paint.
Sounds fun.
Yeah. Oh, incredible amounts of fun. Maybe a little bit too fun.
Too fun. How can you that's not possible.
Probably not. So it was yeah, that's good. Yeah.
It's President's Week this week. We don't have the computer right now. Somebody's gonna bring it here, so we can check the messages. But it's President's Week this week. We're celebrating it in honor of President's Day. I don't know if you know anything about that. Being I still call you a
In
Canadian.
Canada, it would be Prime Minister Day.
Yeah,
Because the political system is a little bit different.
but they don't. I mean, do they have Prime Minister Day up there?
I don't. I think they have Parliament Day,
Hmm.
and that way everyone celebrates the government.
Yeah.
The government. Yeah, yeah. Because in Canada, the king or queen is the ultimate authority, sovereign, whatever. They're
Well,
whatever.
they're a figurehead now,
but
though,
it's
right?
but it's well, they're a figurehead now. But for a very long time, they made the decisions.
Yeah.
It was not democratic. But as the English and British system went more and more to a democracy and less from a theocracy or a autocracy or something like that, the queen or king got less and less decision-making power and more negotiating power. Like if there was some sort of negotiation or some sort of heads of state were going to meet with each other, they just send the queen or the prince, and the prince would negotiate terms or do social things and rub shoulders and make friendly and make deals and that sort of thing with each other. And so the Canadian governmental system is based on this British parliamentary system. And so there's not a president or a Congress. There's the House and the Senate, and each one has X number of individual seats. And in the Parliament, the way it works is the majority party makes the decisions, and they choose their leader. They choose the Prime Minister. They're all ministers, as they're called.
That's like a religious thing, minister, right? The term minister.
Administer.
Okay, yeah.
Administrator.
Okay.
Minister. Yeah, it sounds kind of theocratic, and that's probably where the roots of the word came from. But you'd have the progressive conservatives. When I was growing up in Canada, you had PCs, progressive conservatives. You had liberals, and you had later on the New Democratic Party came, and their NDP, and there was one other party. Another minor party. And so you had the two main parties, and then you had like two, possibly three smaller, less diverse kinds of parties. And these are, more socialist parties, more right-wing parties, mostly more socialist. And so what would happen is the PCs would have a majority, but if the Liberals and the NDP got together, they would form a coalition party, and they would be in charge. And this happens in Britain. A lot of the vassal states of Britain during the British Empire. India, I think, has a parliament. Australia, New Zealand, some small countries in South America where they ended up creating colonies. They established this parliamentary government once the empire kind of dissolved, and these small countries or large countries became more and more sovereign. They govern themselves more and more, and so they all have these parliamentary systems. France and Germany, they have a parliamentary system similar, but it's very different. It's shaped a little different, and the rules work a little different, and the two governing bodies work a little different. France. The French government system is a lot closer to the American system.
Okay.
And it's interesting, too, because the French have a really strong national pride. They're very proud of their country and French traditions and names and customs and things and stuff that are made and come out of France. They're very rigid. And proud, and a lot like America. There are certain things in America, the customs, ways of doing things, products, and culture and fashion and all kinds of stuff that happen in America that are very, very rigid.
Hey, it's info time.
So the French and the Americans are more alike than not alike.
Now it's info time.
And that's why they don't like each other. Here are some answers to some frequently asked questions about the program. You're watching it right now. It's called Your Daily Hour with Me, and it's a call-in television talk show. Thank you. Filmed right here in Thurston County, every day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, every night, 11:30 p.m., Channel 22. Every episode is filmed, airs a week after it's taped, 11:30. And, I missed that. If you're watching the 2 a.m. one, it's the same day last year. You can also watch any episode of the program on youtube.com. Anyone can be on the program, especially you. Your Daily Hour with Me relies on community for the content, so give us a call at 360-836-4384. Leave a message. We'll call you back while we're on the program, and your voice will be on TV. So, now, back to the program. Yeah, I screwed that one up.
Oh, it's fine.
I got about 75% correct.
Just fine.
Yeah, and I improvise. I tend to improvise on a couple spots. I want to make it clear that when we call you on the program,
We're on TV.
you are on TV right now. Literally.
What about President's Day, though? Do you know anything about that? Because I think maybe we're supposed to be celebrating only Lincoln and Washington or something, but is it about all presidents or just on the old-timey ones?
Well, because people can't agree on the best president.
Yeah.
You know, most people think that Abe Lincoln was great. Most people think that Washington was really great. And there are others that there's a lot of controversy over the greatness of a particular president.
Yeah.
Theodore Roosevelt. You think of the four dudes on Mount Rushmore.
Yeah. Is that Jefferson?
Washington, Jefferson, Lincoln. I think Lincoln's on there, isn't he?
Yeah. Yeah.
Lincoln and Roosevelt.
Roosevelt was
Teddy.
what, in the 50s?
Oh, turn of the century. I think he was
18
pre-World War I think, or
So
World.
like
It was.
10s?
No, I think he was during the Great Depression.
That's
In
the
between the two
30s?
great wars, I think. Yeah, I think so. He was considered pretty good.
I know when they
pretty
made
good
Mount Rushmore.
40s, I think. It was after Second World War, I think. They're doing another major monument. This thing is huge.
Yeah.
Huge. It's the Sitting Bull, I think.
What's it gonna
I
be?
think it's Sitting Bull. It's this chief on a horse, and he's pointing forward and he's holding on to the mane of the horse as he rides.
Yeah.
And so it's his upper half and the head and neck of the horse.
In a mountain?
They've been working on this thing for, oh my God, 15, 20 years already, and it's going to take them another 40 to do it.
Wow.
Because they're carving a mountain.
Yeah, that's pretty
This
crazy.
this thing can be seen from 100 miles.
Why are they doing that?
I don't know. Sitting Bull was a great leader.
Are they doing the native people doing it?
I am assuming.
Yeah.
But I think there's a lot of non-native people involved because they recognize that the Americans only colonized and took over the land. That the natives were here for, my God, 10,000 years before we ever got here.
Uh-huh.
So it acknowledges that we were not the first and the only, that we're here, we've only been here like 200-300 years as compared to the hundreds of generations of individuals that lived and died and had a culture. They had an economy, they had languages and religion and all this stuff, and America came and wiped it out for the most part. There's small groups that still hold on to language and culture and traditions and beliefs and religion and all the stuff that, has existed consistently, since before we got here. But Americanism has taken over. So this is an attempt to create some art to remind people that, we're not the first. We're not the only ones. Ours isn't necessarily the greatest.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea is you carve this thing in rock and it will last 100,000 years. And generations from now, hundreds of generations from now, this thing will still be there, unless, you know, they hit it with a nuke or something.
Well, it's like the pyramids and the Sphinx and stuff.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. And Mount Rushmore will last for 100,000 years. Eventually,
Wow.
bits and pieces will break off. You know, eventually, you know, one of them will lose a nose, or, you know, part of their chin will fall off.
Like the Sphinx, yeah.
Yeah. The Sphinx was purposely damaged. A bunch of, I think it was Napoleon.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, there was a mix-up in orders, or some soldiers decided to be assholes, and they used a cannon on it
Oh,
for
man.
target practice, something like that. And they got in trouble. Of course, it was a problem for doing that, because they damaged this ancient relic
Yeah.
that was beautiful in and of itself, and they defaced it literally.
Yeah, wow.
So, so, you know, it's an attempt to build a lasting monument that will last, if it's not messed with, for centuries, millennia, thousands of years. And when we're gone, it will still be there. And people say, "Who was that guy?
Yeah.
What's he pointing at?
Yeah,
Why is he on that horse?
Today's
What-
the actual President's Day for the viewers.
Look, little Jimmy, that's what a horse used to look like."
Remember when we had natural horses instead of these robot horses?
Yeah. That wasn't, they didn't have robots back then.
Yeah.
And they knew how to do math in their head.
So today's President's Day, but I don't know what we're supposed to do.
Okay,
the
so we have to ask, who in your thinking was the best president?
I've been saying I like Jimmy Carter.
Serious?
Well, I don't know. I don't really know too much history or any of that stuff. I just seem to like his maybe character and history fiction and whatever. I don't know too much about politics. So.
Oh, Jimmy Carter, among presidents, I would definitely say he's been my favorite.
Yeah.
He's been my favorite. He is a Southern Baptist minister. He was before.
Mm-hmm.
He is now. He continues to be. But he's not one of those rigid, punitive kind. There's people, religious people, they can be the loving, forgiveness, charity, kindness, you know, this, a lot of the humanitarian things that Jesus talked about.
Yeah.
Right? Then the other kind, they're more Old Testament-y, where they're about rules and punishment and fear.
That's no good.
And do as you're told or else. There's no tolerance or allowance for any kind of gayness or sex outside of marriage, or
Heavy rules, yeah.
yeah, a lot of rules, and but Jimmy Carter was the good kind of Christian.
I asked Mr. Ginsu. He said his favorite president's Obama.
Serious?
Yeah, so that's pretty good too. Thanks Obama for being president.
I have mixed emotions about Obama.
Yeah.
Partly because his
NSA?
pre-electoral speeches about ideals and behavior and doing stuff is not reflected by his behavior as president. He's allowed and supported all kinds of things that go very, very much against the Constitution. He was a constitutional scholar. He was before he became president, he was a community organizer. He worked with, you know, local folks and stuff. He was very much involved with people around him. And being a constitutional scholar for the something law review, Cambridge Law Review or whatever. You know, the Constitution is this document that, you know, preserves our rights and freedoms. And, you know, this whole NSA wiretapping, spying on everybody, recording all of our communications, emails, texts, phone calls, all of that is being recorded and stored.
I mean, that's
All of it.
all that stuff is part of technology that's building. Though once we have the technology to start storing and keeping all that stuff, like why?
Sure, but it's against the Constitution. It's illegal. It's totally against it.
I don't think the Constitution had thought of telephones and.
Well, no, it's like let's
Email.
say back then people wrote letters, right? They wrote letters. Well, imagine back in Ben Franklin's time if all the mail was intercepted,
Here we go.
copied, and stored and used against that person if that person did something they didn't
You
like.
could still, if you want to write a letter with your hands and put it in the mailbox, you still have as much.
You're more likely. Your stuff is probably more secure that way.
Yeah.
The NSA can't.
I think.
They can't copy that.
I don't know. 1 in 4, I lost. So you still winning.
What was your number?
I have a 5.
5. Okay.
But I think with emails and texting and cell phone calls,
Yeah.
to me, always had an inherent risk of being spied upon.
Sure.
I've always thought that my emails were being spied upon. Like I
Yeah.
don't say, if I don't. I mean, I don't know what I don't have anything to hide. But if I did, I wouldn't
You
say
wouldn't be
I wouldn't be emailing it. Yeah, I would
Yeah.
be.
Well, the thing is the whole idea of being able to have privacy, being able to, take a shit in private,
Yeah.
being able to make love to someone in private, being able to say and think and feel whatever in private without that being questioned or examined or recorded.
Uh huh.
And when the police technically can't just walk into your home and take your stuff.
Yeah.
Technically. Now, sometimes they do,
Yeah.
and they get in trouble for it, but it takes 6 months to get your stuff back.
Yeah.
And it does a lot of psychological damage, this whole thing that they do. The idea is that if you're a regular person, it's a fair assumption that you're not involved in a crime. So, there is no reason, per se, that the police or the authorities be looking through your shit to look for evidence of a crime. When really, the spying, them recording your stuff, is them looking at your stuff for evidence of a crime when you have not, in fact, committed one, per se.
Mm-hmm.
Now, granted, they will have this evidence if you ever do, but it's a priori. It's before the fact. It's being it's like the what was that movie with Tom Cruise where people
Minority Report.
Minority Report, where people would commit an act, or these psychics
In the
would
future,
see what a person was going to do, and the person would be stopped before they committed the crime, as if they had committed the crime.
Yeah.
So it was a pre-crime thing. So technically, you have to commit the crime to be convicted of the crime, or you have to.
What about attempted murder or conspiracy?
Well, that's an actual act. That's you
Yeah.
actually doing something, and they say, "Hey, you did this thing. It's illegal. You're under arrest. You're going to jail. You're paying a fine." Or
But you haven't done
blah, blah,
anything
blah.
yet.
Yeah, but they're gathering evidence on everybody, so that if and when they do something, the NSA already has gathered evidence against them.
Mm-hmm.
Way back in J. Edgar Hoover's time, he was commander of the FBI, and then he became president, and he still had his hooks in the FBI. And he said everyone that is involved in some kind of activity that we're not liking, gather all the information that you can on them. Tap their phones, follow them, record who they're meeting with,
Yeah.
intercept their mail, all kinds of crap.
He was a transvestite, and that was a big secret, right?
Yeah, I think so.
He was
Yeah.
he was super secretive, trying to be a transvestite, but then anybody found out about it, and it was his secret, and he was looking for secrets, but then he
Yeah.
had this big secret.
Yeah. He suspected everybody else of the same kinds of behaviors that he was engaged in.
Yeah.
Which is kind of interesting. People do that. So anyway, the whole idea is that I haven't committed a crime, and so there's no reason to gather evidence for some future crime that I may commit because I'm involved in, say, protests against spies, being spied on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that is not in and of itself a crime to protest. But the act of protest means that I'm not happy with my government, and therefore this is cause for suspicion of subversive behavior on my part that goes beyond protests. So, yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So Barack Obama, being a constitutional scholar, this is a real basic tenet of people's privacy rights, and him being supportive of the NSA doing all this, and more comes out about how wide of a scope of this gathering of intelligence on Americans has gone.
You know, I'm not so worried about privacy. What I'm more worried about is the NSA spending millions of dollars looking at emails. Like, why?
Yeah.
That's a giant waste of resources.
They don't necessarily. They're I think it's in Norfolk, Virginia.
Yeah.
I think it's near the Pentagon or something. There is a center, and it's a massive building, and they are using a ton of power, a lot of electricity, because they have the thousands and thousands of these servers that all this data that they're gathering is being stored.
Yeah.
All this stuff is being stored in these servers, and it's using a huge amount of power.
Yeah.
And they're having to get power from farther and further places because it's so energy intensive. And that in itself is a big waste. And usually the way it works is they've gathered, you know, a lot of stuff information, who you've contacted and who they've contacted, and stuff that you've written, you know, online in some way, somewhere on the interwebs. And that's all being stored. No one has looked at it, but it's filed under your name. And so if something happens and your name comes into the picture somehow, you were on the street at the time, you were friends with the person involved with the thing, your name comes up, that's when somebody sits down and reads all that. It's only when there's a red flag that happens.
Hello. Hey, it's
you must be Rachel.
Yeah. Hi. Yay.
Yay.
You want to say hi?
Have a seat.
Okay. Hey guys.
Hi.
Hi.
Dan's talking about the NSA and because of President's Day and stuff.
Spying and all that sort of thing. Yeah. Gathering of data, and it's not right. And you know, you can spy on me all you want after I commit a crime, not before. That's what I'm saying. Because I need to do something bad to have my intelligence gathered. Yeah. So I was. We were talking about President's Day and who our favorite president is, and Kenny said that Mr. Ginsu's was Barack Obama, and so I started whining and sniveling about how. I started whining and sniveling about how Obama was a constitutional scholar before he got his job as president, and him being supportive and helping the NSA do all the spying goes totally against the Constitution. Totally. It's a 180 flip. So this Dan, not happy with Obama at all. I like the fact that he's supportive of gay marriage. He works very hard to increase unemployment benefits for people. He was very much involved in the stimulus plan that helped a lot of local businesses and local organizations and stuff.
Yeah.
He has been an opponent of cutting of funding to disabled and elderly. The Republicans love to cut funding to poor people. Disabled, elderly, children, women. You know, they don't want women to have health care. They don't want disabled people to get any help. If you're unemployed, too bad, you're on your own. You have some kind of bootstrap thing you're supposed to do. and just a whole bunch of terrible things that Republicans generally try and do, and he resists it. He doesn't necessarily agree with it. Some things he's caved on, not happy about that, but for the most part, he's
It's time for a commercial break.
he's you know,
tell us
he's
more
done-
about this after
so
we get
it's-
back.
It's
2, 1.
we need to get you a third microphone.
Dance only. Dance. Live TV dance party. First Friday
Ooh,
of
ooh.
each month. 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. TCTV Studio A. 440 Yager Way. Oh yeah.
Brown Interior Limited presents Private Memories, the new Skrill Meadow album for 2014.
Yeah, it's working.
DJ who did that
Safe Buzz.
I got to meet this guy. Yeah, he did a nice mix. Some of the songs didn't really blend well. One song
Work with what you got.
kind of an aesthetic, and the next song didn't come on and have a change in it. They didn't blend.
And Long Weekend.
I like the blend with them. You know, you're gonna
Private
blend.
Memories
You're
from
gonna
Skrill
blend
Meadow.
red and
Available
blue,
at
right? You
East
get purple in between, right? And that's
Coming up tomorrow on the program.
on the program.
Your daily hour with
Yeah. Hey, everybody, it's a commercial. There's nobody here today, but we got some people on the phones. Hi.
Hi.
We talked to Mr. Ginsu and we listened to a lot of his messages today. He says some weird things about living free or dying, live free or die. He's really into that phrase for some reason. We're on every night at 11:30 and 2 a.m. on TCTV channel 22.
Oh, I went to bring that to too. So it's not
Check it out. Convenience week. Yeah. Hey, we're back.
We are joined by Rachel.
She brought us
Yeah.
the computer. We have some messages.
Yay! The computer.
Here's a message from Freddie. It's the only message we got today. It's new.
I almost left one last
Hey,
night.
Daily Hour, this is Freddie. I'm because I was watching the 2 a.m. episode, and you guys were talking, I think people were calling about the episode from the 2 a.m. from before, which was with Mark, the guitar player,
Whoa.
and the one that you were on right there was with John Farinelli. So anyway, I don't know. Thought I'd call in, and then actually when I tried to call in, the thing wouldn't go through to the voicemail. It went to TCTV voicemail.
Oh, no.
And then
Crap.
I think what happened is that we didn't turn the phone back from
Again, that happens every time we go there.
the 7th. So I don't know. If maybe how people have been able to leave messages, but that's very important for us to do when we finish one of those studio shoots, is change the number back on the Google Voice website thing. Anyway.
Oh, man. Well,
Call me back. Talk to you later. Bye.
yeah, we'll call Freddie back.
Do you know what happens?
Yeah, people.
The phone in the control room, it has this high pitch.
Mr. Ginsu starts calling people in the control room and going,
Well, the phone
"What?"
rings.
Starts cursing at them, yeah.
The phone rings. It's really funny because that door is usually closed because the control room isn't always used, right?
Yeah.
And you hear this, and it's on. I think it's number 4 or whatever, and you can pick it up. And
Yeah.
they're not calling the station; they're calling the program.
Yeah, and then
Daily Hour.
hey, Freddie, how you doing?
Yo!
I'm doing good. I'm in line at Costco. We're gonna get a couple hot dogs. I'm here with my mom and my sister.
Nice.
We just went down to Woodard Bay and collected a bunch of nettles.
Nettles, you gonna make tea?
Yeah, I'm gonna make nettle tea, and I'm even gonna try. Apparently, if you boil them up, you can eat them kind of like spinach.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cute.
They lose their
They're poison?
uh.
Stinging?
Yeah. They're not so stingy.
How do
They're
you
tangy.
how do you collect them without getting sting?
Gloves.
I don't. I mean, some people wear gloves, but I kind of like it. My fingers are a little tingly.
You just do it, huh?
Where did you go to collect these nettles?
They grow all over the place.
They used to grow in my backyard. I used to my family used to throw them at each other, which was kind of bad, but
They grow all over the place.
we would fling them at each other and get everybody would be itchy all the time, and it got to a bad point where we put them in our shoes. I think I put them in my brother's shoes or something.
That's funny.
Stick
That's
them
a
down
good
someone's
one.
shirt.
I like that.
Yeah.
Down their pants.
I was in a bicycle gang where we had to sting ourselves with nettles to get into to be official members.
That is one rough gang.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we're tough.
They
You
used
guys
to
were
say that
badasses.
ferns healed it. So whenever you would sting yourself with a nettle, you'd go and get those ferns and you'd rub it on there. But I'm not sure if that was real or if it was a legend or.
It's a great legend.
Yeah. It's like, oh, ferns.
Quick,
ferns
get a
will take care of
fern.
it, yeah.
Get a fern. We'll rub.
Oh, the fern heals it. I wonder if that's true.
You should test
I
that.
don't know
Try it
how
out.
true it was. I don't know where I got that idea, but that's what I thought when I was a little kid.
Yeah. Rub
One
some.
plant makes you sting, and the other one gets rid of it. That
Well, no,
makes
no.
sense
You
enough.
test it by rubbing the nettle on someone else and then rub the fern on them and see if it works.
Well, I mean, I did every time, and it seemed like it worked, but maybe it was just time, you know? You're like, is it? Is it?
Yeah,
I-
being a kid.
I would
Yeah.
like to say psychosomatic.
Yeah, maybe it's psychosomatic. So the phone has been ringing at TCTV again, huh?
Ooh, yeah. It has been. Sorry about that. All weekend too. I don't know. Maybe we should.
That's why
I
we
should
haven't
try
been
to
getting
go
any
over there and get-
voicemails.
Yeah. Has there been like no voicemails?
Yes.
I bet there's been people calling, so I'd like to extend my apology. It's my fault, man. I always forget to do this. Whenever we go to TCTV, I always switch the number and then forget
It's-
to change it back, and then for like several days there's some kind of issue. This
It
one
happens
was
every
worse,
single
'cause I
time.
think
I would say it's a collective fault.
I will try and remind you. How
Yeah.
about that? That's something I can remember to remind you.
Okay.
I
That's a-
can remember it to help you remember it.
That's a collective failure, and you know, as long as we're learning from mistakes, then
Yeah.
you know, we can think of them in a positive
And
light.
Yeah.
It also maybe is good to know that it's not necessarily that no one was calling in, but no one was able to call in. So
Yeah.
potentially there was like infinite callers that sadly we missed out on, but maybe they'll try to call back. I don't know. Hopefully.
I know that you and some of the other member services people at TCTV have had to endure some Mr. Ginsu phone calls.
I
I bet that
have
there's
not.
some voicemails on there.
I think it was
I have not.
one
I've
of
been-
one of the coworkers who is not on the show, so I don't want to mention their name, but Mr. Ginsu told me that he cursed them out a lot.
I have been spared his cursings and threatenings.
Yeah, well, I mean, it would have been better if it was you or Freddie, but it was not. It was one of the female staff members at TCTV who got cursed out by Mr. Ginsu. This was a long time ago.
No. Yes, that is awful. Yeah, I would if I recognized it was him. Yeah, I'd have a great conversation. Hey man, how's it going? Blah
Yeah.
blah 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 blah. And then I would call either you or Freddie and say, hey, you got to switch the number. But the other people wouldn't necessarily know what to do or how to do it or what to say.
How's the production end going in general?
Feeling good. Last night I was working on editing the fruit juice video, and we got things going real well up on the YouTube. Let's see. Yeah, I think the production is going good. We're scheduled on TV. We're gonna get I don't know. I don't know what the next. Oh, the next thing we got to worry about is my trip. I'm going away.
Yeah, when is that?
That's
Oh.
in a week or two, isn't it?
That's a week from yesterday.
A week from
And
yesterday.
I'm going to be gone for a week.
6 days. Yeah. Me and Kenny will be working that out.
Yeah, the February calendar has been destroyed a little bit, but what that's going to be during convenience week, right? Ironically.
Yeah, it's a convenient time for me to go to DC.
Yeah.
But maybe not a convenient time to leave.
I think I can deal. I think last time this happened, we did the thing, and I think we'll just have that same setup, and I think we can do it.
Okay, cool. I'm not too worried about it. I'm sure there's a lot of capable people on the crew, and you yourself, I'm sure would have no problem doing it if you have time. So.
Great.
And then Dan can maybe make sure the files get on the program.
Absolutely.
Anyway,
I don't think they have
I'm
any.
about to sit down and have.
Oh, hot dog. Oh yeah. I don't think there's any sand in Washington D.C. because it's landlocked. Enjoy your.
There's sand.
Hey, does your
sand
mom get the Polish dog or the hot dog?
by a river or lake?
Let me ask. Do you get the Polish dog or the hot dog? We got the hot dog today, but Matisse and Mom West got sauerkraut.
Great. Thanks, Freddie. We'll talk to you later. Oh, it's time for the final dice game. You want to play the final dice game real fast?
Yeah, sure. I'll take a 6.
All right, here we go. You don't have any points so far. Dana's 500 points. Do you have a number, Rachel?
Yeah, I picked a number.
Okay, here we go.
Rolling, rolling, rolling.
It's you lost, Freddie. Okay, bye. He's a bye. 2, 2, 4, 4, 1, 3.
I have a 1.
You do? Oh, you and Dan are tied
Ooh.
with 500 points.
Yes.
I lost.
We both have 500 points.
Now you guys get to decide. Do you want to share or battle?
Let's battle.
What's battle?
Yeah, let's battle.
Sure. why
Battle
not?
is when you battle and only one of you gets to win, and if you share, then you both get to win.
So the idea is we roll another dice,
Mm-hmm.
and you either pick 1, 2, or 3.
High,
I pick
low,
4,
yeah.
5, and 6, high or low. You can decide whether you want high or low. Whoever gets the high or low takes all the points.
Or you can share and you can both win.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go low.
You want
Okay.
to battle? Is that what you're saying?
Is that okay?
Yeah. Well, I mean, Dan, what do you want?
I'll
Wait,
be.
Who picks first?
You wanna
You
battle
go
too?
low. I'll be high.
All right, here it goes.
Because I'll trade.
Here
No,
it
it
goes.
doesn't matter.
Okay.
It doesn't matter.
Oh,
You won.
you won.
Yay.
You got the points. High five.
Thank
Dan
you.
Or
lost.
Low 5. Something.
All right.
Sweet.
Looks like we don't have anything scheduled for tomorrow on the program. I'm not sure what we're gonna be doing. Let's call some McDonald's.
Yeah.
Where should we call?
Canada.
Canada. Okay.
Edmonton.
Canada White Pages. I think is we gotta look it up. It's a different
Do they call
website.
it different stuff in Canada though? Like, is it still a Shamrock Shake or is it?
No,
I
it's the
guess
same.
we'll
It's
find
all the
out,
same. It's all the
Don't
same.
they
I'm
do,
from
like,
Canada.
It's pretty much.
Yeah,
Oh,
I grew
yeah.
up in
Do you-
Canada. Yeah.
So he said you're naturalized. Do you have dual citizenship or you
Yeah,
just?
I'm dual.
Oh,
Yeah, I
that's cool.
always was an American citizen, just living in Canada and going back and
Nice.
forth. So when I apologize,
Edmonton?
I say sorry.
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 How do you spell Edmonton?
Don't you do? Isn't it the
ED?
mayo with your French fries?
Salt and vinegar, actually.
That
Salt and
sounds pretty
vinegar is
good.
fairly. Yeah. Edmonton. EDMONTON. Edmonton.
BC. Is that what it is?
No, Alberta.
Alberta
AB.
AB.
Yep. Not to be confused with Alabama, which I think is AL.
AL. All right, here we go. This is on 80th Avenue.
Sweet.
Oh, I think I know where that is. It's near White Ave.
Here we go.
White Ave is a main drag. It's a main drag.
Say hey, Edmonton.
Yenmonton. That's a big city. It's as big or bigger than Seattle.
Wow.
Yeah, huge.
McDonald's.
Hey, McDonald's. Do you guys have those Shamrock Shakes yet?
Pardon me?
Do you have the milkshake, Shamrock milkshake?
We have milkshakes.
Do you have the Shamrock flavor though, mint flavor?
No, not yet.
Do you know when you're gonna get it?
Not yet. Maybe in March end.
March and.
Yeah.
March and.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. She said and, right?
March and
She said maybe we're gonna get it in March and then yeah, what?
Maybe she said March end. The
Oh,
end
March
of March.
end. Yeah, that
Maybe it
could
was,
that
you
could be
know,
possible.
The way Yoda would say it, you know.
Yeah, let's call Dan Dobler. He called us yesterday when he get a call back.
Go to Edmonton, we will. Shamrock Shake. March at the end, it is.
March's end. Yeah, maybe. Oh, it sounds like it reminds me of Dude, Where's My Car? You know?
I think that like every day.
Dude, car, where is it?
That's the
But he
one
says
at
like,
school.
and then, you know?
And then?
No, that's it. And then, yeah.
What the, what?
Oh, wait, this is the wrong number for Dan Dobler. Yeah. That happens a lot, actually.
Dan Dobler.
Dan Dobler.
Freddie's almost finished with his
Agent Jim?
Agent Jim.
He's been almost finished for a long time, but yes.
In 2 years,
We're
almost
working on
finished. Yeah, sounds like a few project I have almost finished that may never ever end. It's the editing.
Hello?
Hey, Dan.
Hey, Dan.
Hi.
Hi.
We're on TV. How you doing?
Fine.
Hey, Dan. This is Monday, Dan. How are you doing, Dan?
Fine.
Hey, it's President's Week. Who's your favorite president?
What?
Who's your favorite president?
Kennedy.
Kennedy, yeah, that's what I thought you were going to say.
Oh, wow.
Dan has got a lot of conspiracy theorists about, what's his name, was it Patsy and stuff?
Yeah, yeah. I have a
Oswald?
few of those. I borrowed a few conspiracies of others and adopted them.
You
as
still
my
think
own.
Oswald was a Patsy?
What?
You still think Lee Harvey Oswald was a Patsy?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know now. At this point, I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Hey, Dan, do you like the Shamrock Shakes? Have you had those mint ones, mint flavor?
I can't understand you.
Oh, that's okay. You seen anything on the streets or on the news recently?
No?
Great. Well, hey, thanks, Dan. Thanks for talking to us.
I gotta go.
All right. Okay. Goodbye.
Bye. See you later.
Bye.
What a nice guy.
I wonder if you turned up this mic if you could hear my heartbeat.
I don't know. Don't put that mic on under your shirt.
It only works
No.
if you even-
Yeah. Leave it.
We need a stethoscope.
Yeah.
Yeah, just not a cardio.
Get it. We could get that might
Yeah,
be.
but you'd have to turn it up.
That might be fun to get a stethoscope and stick the end of the ear end into your.
Yeah, I
we
used to
could-
have one. They're great.
I think I did too. I don't know where I got it. And see, now that I think about it, it seems a little bit gross.
No, you could stick it on the wall and listen to your neighbors.
Yeah, but why did I have a stethoscope and where did it come from?
They're
I feel-
cheap.
I feel like my mom picked one up at like a garage sale or something. It could have been used on like diseased patients or something weird. I don't know.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Well, it's just a little thing. I mean, you just wipe it down with the thing.
Yeah,
right?
I
You
just
get-
don't know. I just don't know where it came from. I'm thinking
yeah.
back on it, and
Yeah.
I listened to my heartbeat and maybe friends' heartbeats, and I don't know if I ever washed it, and who knows about that stuff. That's kind of weird.
Well, I was with someone that
Yeah.
had a heart thing where her heart would do an extra beat.
Arrhythmia?
Yeah, it was a weird arrhythmia. It would do this extra. One of the ventricles would do this extra bump, and it sounded really weird. It was really, I would listen. I would listen to her heart.
3 beats.
And got the stethoscope, and it was just the weirdest sound. And it was just something she dealt with, and she just got used to after a while. And it wasn't stress related or anything.
1 minute left
So,
at the end of the show.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dan and Rachel. Thanks for being here today.
Yeah. Thanks for bringing the computer.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
That was awesome.
Thanks, Freddie and Dan Dobler and McDonald's and presidents.
All of you.
Except for some of the presidents.
Yeah.
Which ones?
Not Reagan.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Reagan.
Oh, yeah, that guy.
Yeah. But everybody else, maybe with a few exceptions.
Hoover, not a fan of Hoover. Him and his cross-dressing and such, and spying.
I don't think I like
such.
Ford, Nixon.
the
I don't know.
cross-dressing, I don't know
But
about spying.
maybe maybe I like Nixon as a fun guy.
I'm not a crook. I'm not a crook.
Yeah, we should try to do, maybe in the future of President's Week we can try to do more impressions. But thanks for watching, everybody. Here's the credits.
I was picking peanuts before I got this job.
3, 2,
That would be Jimmy Carter.
1.
Oh, yeah.
He was a peanut farmer, as most folks were. Baptist minister,
They
too.
make, like, the beer.
I don't know sexual relations with a woman.
Like a thing.
I'm trying to do a Bill Clinton
Not
impression.
sure.
Thanks, computers.
Wait,
No,
what?
it's not peanut beer.
Thanks, Facebook and Twitter and YouTube.
That would be
Can
scary.
you do Bill Clinton?
That-
I don't know sexual
you
relations
dip your
with
bread
a
in
woman.
it.
I tried
Phones?
peanut flavored beer.
Oh,
Crew?
that
Rachel's on the crew.
Yeah.
You're somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Hello.
TCTV, thank you. TheWebit.com, check it out.
Ooh. rainbowy.
awesome.
Psycho Feeling, yeah. Jordan E. Fabulous.
Fabulous.
Thurston County, Washington State, USA.
Fabulous.
Thank you.
This is the biggest dome this side.
Awesome.
Viewers that
the
you're watching, thank
continent.
you. Hell yeah, dog.
Bye bye. Yeah, that was pretty good.
We are.
Yeah.
I am running.